It's a philosophical question as to when human beings have value, if they do, and whether they're persons. But here is the science of embryology for our listeners. Keith L. Moore, in his textbook, The Developing Human, says human development begins at fertilization, the process during which a male gamete or sperm unites with a female gamete or oocyte to form a single cell called a zygote. This highly specialized titipotent cell marked the beginning of each of us as a unique individual. 1975, Pathology of the Fetus and the Infant. Quote, every time a sperm cell and ovum unite, a new human being is created which is alive and will continue to live unless its death is brought about by some specific condition. 2006, Langman's Medical Embryology. Development begins with fertilization, the process during which the male gamete, the sperm, and the female gamete, the oocyte, unite to give rise to a zygote. Anne Ferroidi, who's the CEO of the largest independent abortion provider in the UK, admitted in a 2008 debate the following: we can accept that the embryo is a living thing, in the fact that it has a beating heart, that it has its own genetic system within it. It's clearly human in the sense that it's not a gerbil, and we can recognize that it is human life. Peter Singer, Practical Ethics, 1993, the philosopher who defends killing infants through 1 year old, said whether a being is a member of a given species is something that can be determined scientifically by an examination of the nature of the chromosomes and the cells of living organisms. In this sense, there is no doubt that from the first moments of its existence, an embryo conceived from human sperm and eggs is a human being. David Boonin, in his book A Defense of Abortion in 2003, said, a human fetus, after all, is simply a human being at a very early stage in his or her development. And then lastly, in 1981, a United States Senate Judiciary Subcommittee received the following testimony from a collection of medical experts. Here were some of them. Dr. Jeremy Le Guin, a professor of genetics at the University of Descartes, said after fertilization has taken place, a new human being has come into being. It is no longer a matter of taste or opinion. It is plain experimental evidence. Each individual has a very neat beginning at conception. Dr. Watson A. Bowes, University of Colorado Medical School. The beginning of a single human life is, from a biological point of view, a simple and straightforward matter. The beginning is conception. And lastly, Dr. Jaime Gordon, a professor of medical genetics and a physician at the prestigious Mayo Clinic, said, I think we can now also say that the question of the beginning of life, when it begins, is no longer a question for theological or philosophical dispute. It is an established scientific fact. Theologians and philosophers may go on to debate the meaning of life or the purpose of life, but it is an established fact that all life, including human life, begins at the moment of conception.